Hello, and welcome to today's Lesson for Life. It is Wednesday, January 21st, 2009, and today we'll be reading from Leviticus chapter 24.
Okay, great. Leviticus chapter 24. And as always, I encourage you to read the entire chapter 2 for yourself and email us and we'll put it on the blog what you got from it, because I'm only going to touch on about two things I saw in this chapter. And one of the first things I saw is where it says that they were going to put this person, someone, to death, because there was a stranger in the land, basically. His mother was of the children of Israel, his father was an Egyptian, and he had committed a sin, and the punishment the Lord had told them was that he was to be stoned, to be put to death. And the first thing I thought about really was how we've learned before, you know, that commandment. You remember which commandment I'm talking about?
Yes.
Which one?
The sixth one, thou shalt not kill.
Yeah, thou shalt not kill. So now I see, you know, we know we're not supposed to kill, but then in this instance we see that the Lord is telling them they have to stone this person and put him to death. So the first thing I gather from reading this is that there's a difference between killing versus exacting a punishment on a person, which is what they were doing, and putting someone to death and stoning them. So when you're killing, that's actually when you're doing with malice or with a evil intent, versus what the Lord is telling these people to do here, the children of Israel, the congregation, to actually stone this person. To really, this is the punishment that he was going to have to suffer because of the sin that he committed. So that was one thing I saw, the difference between killing versus being put to death or stoned as the Lord commands them to do. And then later on in this chapter, another thing I saw was, as we're reading, that the scripture says that there's one law, and it's for really the strangers as well as those who are native to the land. So that's another important thing for us to understand too, that even though someone might be a stranger to the land, or you might be a stranger in a foreign land, that you're subject to that law of that land, really. And there was one story I was thinking of, even as we're traveling right now, that I heard of. This was several years ago, that some tourists were in a distant country, and there was a particular law in that land that you can't spit on the ground. And I guess they weren't aware of that law, and they went and they spat on the ground. I guess because wherever they came from, that's not a law. But then they were arrested, and they had to suffer the consequences. And that's what I thought about as I was reading this. That the stranger is subject to the law of the land, and he's going to have to suffer the consequences, as we see here in this chapter. So we need to be conscious of the laws that we're subject to, whether we're in a distant land or even in the land that we live in, or we're a citizen of a particular country or whatever. Just to be aware of the laws that you're subject to, so that you know how to conduct yourself, or your rights, actually, even too. That's another thing, another reason why you should know the laws. You know what's right. A lot of times people actually just get taken advantage of because they don't know their rights, they don't know the laws, they don't know what steps they're supposed to follow. It's funny because even the people that are supposed to uphold the law, a lot of them don't know the law as well too. So they'll do something that is not really lawful as well, and then you just permit them to because you don't know it yourself. So that's the second thing I saw from this chapter, about how we should be conscious of the laws of the land, because as a stranger we're also subject to the laws, just as this stranger was subject to the law as well as the children of Israel, just because he was in that land. So with that was the 2 points I want to bring up. But like I said, there's more in this chapter. If you read it, you can email us and we'll put it on the blog. But create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we will talk again tomorrow.